right around the corner.
Oh.
Interesting idea for the T-shirt.
Or just say right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Or, yeah, bumper to bumper at the fair right around the corner.
Well, you got to have the state fair part in it.
Yeah.
I think you have to, because that's the bit. State fair is right around the corner, don't you?
Yeah, but like bumper to bumper at the fair.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Did we try corn sweat and it got rejected by the higher-ups last year?
We put it together. It was mocked. I think we had it last year.
But I don't think it was. I think it was ultimately rejected by Bossberg.
Interesting.
I don't remember. Respect the corn sweat, but don't fear it? Or how about here for the corn sweat or not here for the corn sweat?
Right.
Those a number of corn sweat variations have come up. Here's another
right
one.
around the corner.
I might.
That's like a legacy award, right?
Yeah, that might be. It's been suggested for the second consecutive year, land of 10,000 fraud cases. But the problem with that is, do you, like everything else, you immediately alienating half your audience who doesn't want to hear that mocked.
Right.
Obviously, in that case, the Sharks would love it. But the Jets, go, I'm tired of you guys making fun of those fraud cases, and you're playing to the red base, right?
So maybe we do two shirts. One plays to the red, and one plays to the blue.
We could do that too. That's possible. That's one way. Our old friend Julie, highly opinionated, lightly deep fried. I kind of like that too. It's subtle, but I think it's something worthy of consideration. I appreciate all the suggestions that are been thrown out there. 651 guy. When a guy with a British accent talks soccer, you automatically assume he knows what he's talking about. Same thing with this guy in baseball. Well, I texted him back. You can't mandate what guests you like and what you don't. It's a free country, right? But it's got nothing to do with his voice, although I do like Kernan's voice. It has to do with, we're covering baseball for like 40 years. So it's, again, you may disagree with what he has to say, but he's authentic. He's lived it. He has worked it in some pretty, impressive places. New York tabloids, that ain't the easiest lifestyle in some ways, and he's done that. So I'm sorry you're disappointed, but it's not like we're hypnotized by a voice. Deep down, as much fun as we have with that aspect of it, it's about doing the work as long as he has done it. This has come up before. We didn't need him. Never a better year for that. That's from Chris. We didn't need him.
Write it down.
Did we have a corn sweat T-shirt last year and I'm just forgetting it?
I feel like there was one.
Maybe there was. Maybe that's the mistake I'm making, that it wasn't rejected, but it just didn't go very well. I'm not sure. I don't recall.
The fairs all run together at this point. That's the scary thing.
It is. That's exactly
That's the
true.
sad thing.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Couple, people want to know if we could do something with the word salad. Exploding trees, I don't know. I mean, we've had fun with that, but I don't know if there's any T-shirt.
FDS get any nominations again? After I had a flurry about 2 weeks ago.
It hasn't come up yet. It was thrown my way within the office, but although it was misunderstood about the inspiration for it. There was almost hope that it would be, well, you're describing your derangement as in you're a deranged fan, how much you're into that. I had to explain that the origins at least were political, right? That was the whole bit. And that was what was meant by, I think that person thought I meant as in a sports fan. And it's like, no, fan was short for KFAN. I just didn't like say KFAN derangement syndrome. I just said fan derangement because it's 3 letters, right? Just like with Trump derangement syndrome. Bumper to bumper, hashtag do better. Actually, they wrote did better. The other, you could just do the do better thing.
I got to be honest, right around the corner is really growing on me. I think there's possibilities there.
Afternoon aardvark?
You say it every day.
I do say it every day, but I don't know if it would sell. I mean, would you have an actual drawing of an aardvark? They're interesting looking animals. They're distinctive.
Right. It's a conversation starter for whoever's wearing it. What is that?
How about this idea? Kevin Seifert hates the state fair as the T-shirt.
I do like that.
It's clever.
Yeah. Not Kevin Seifert.
Last year was the Minnesota State Fair Corn Sweat Survivor 2025. That's what's embarrassing. I actually thought it had been rejected.
Well, you just assumed. And most of our things are.
That's true.
Which is probably a reflection on our ideas, but also, we're playing from behind.
Do we play around with the culture of collaboration? I mean, I like that in theory, but it has to be something specific playing. It's got to be a riff on that, I think. Where's Glenn Mason? That's playing off the Kevin Seifert thing.
Yeah. And Mace comes out when we really ask him.
He does?
Yep. I mean, he has.
I don't think that listener was disappointed, just saying the voice lent authenticity. That's from 701 guy. Let me go back. Maybe I misread the savagery. Oh, no, maybe he's right. Maybe I looked at it wrong. Let me read it again. When a guy with a British accent talks soccer, you automatically assume he knows what he's talking about. Same thing with this guy in baseball.
Yeah, I think he liked it.
So maybe he liked it. My apologies, because I said I thought he was saying you're getting hypnotized too much in this case, by the way he talks and not enough about his content. So to 651 guy, if I misread you, I apologize for that. And that's why we have other texters who are able to kind of put me straight, which is much appreciated. Here's, of course, I knew this one was coming. 507 guy. Babe Ruth would at best be a AAA player nowadays. And this goes into the race question about competition, which is a legitimate conversation about who didn't play back when Babe Ruth played. What I've maintained is I don't think that means Babe Ruth wouldn't be a dominant player in today's game. He may not be as dominant, and then we're trying to do that game of projecting bodies and, technology and all that stuff. So I think it's fair game to say, when you talk about, well, who's the greatest of all time, can anybody who played in that era be in that conversation, even within that era, if there was, the color barrier that existed forever until Jackie Robinson, right? But I don't think that means he wouldn't have been a player, potentially even a great player. Do you?
No, it was the whole J.J. Redick, what did he say, plumbers?
Yeah,
like bankers and plumbers bit, or what? I can't remember the second thing. It's really hard to compare all the different eras. It just is. It always will be.
It is, and I guess there's no harm done, but it
and obviously the color barrier is a big part of that.
That's a big part of it.
For sure.
For sure. That's undeniable. That's an important part. But I think it's been used too easily to denigrate what he did, because all he can do at the time is do what's available to him.
Play who's there.
And that's always, now, again, whether you want to then say, well, that's going to make me give pause where I say, greatest of all time, right? That I get, but I think it becomes too easy and almost lazy to make the assumption that he would have been a AAA player. How about a Lou Raguse shirt with him as a goose?
I mean, I think Lou should probably be in charge of that, you know? That's probably a Care 11 question.
We can't somebody wants to do it in memory again of Kessler, especially with the new timing. It's all about the wiener because of what's happening in St. Paul.
What if we did Wiener Wednesday?
Well, maybe.
Wiener Wednesday, that's where we need to be a little bit more nimble. We should have sold those last week, and we probably would have sold like 100.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Just do a small order.
How about from Gong Show to Dong Show? Now the Twins are hitting home runs again, and it's not so much a Gong Show, it's more of a Dong Show. Didn't we do that already?
We did. Well, we did the reverse. We did from Dong to Gong.
Oh, that's what we did. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's true.
We've gotten a lot of run out of the Gong and Dong.
We have. That's no question about that. All right, let's get you want to get some bonus bucks going?
I do. TheFanandBigDeck.com. I'm going to give you a shot to win bonus bucks, our national cash contest. Rich is the keyword for the 4 o'clock hour. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword rich.
Reminder again, Alec Lewis will file a live report from the Vikings practice facility. I should say from, TCO Performance Center. It's more than just a practice facility. It's an empire, of course. And we'll see if the quarterbacks are doing any better today than they were towards the end of practice yesterday. Keep the texts and suggestions coming for the T-shirt because we've been given a deadline of today for coming up with some ideas to throw out there. 646-86. Are you familiar with the controversy that broke out on Sunday's show that was not sports related?
Is this about parking?
Yes.
I am.
It's being sort of reborn for reasons that I'll get into when we come back. We'll get into that controversy and much more upon our return.
You're listening to Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY traffic.
The tweet that I retweeted that got the backing into parking spaces controversy started on a very polarizing edition of Sunday Sermons, which is usually not so polarizing because it's generally not so political. But it's rearing its head again. It was an ESPN guy, I think. Who
Here, you want it?
Yeah. Did you find it?
Yeah, Ryan McGee.
There it is. Yeah, that's him.
Said it before, worth repeating. One of the dumbest trends of my lifetime. Holding up an entire parking lot to do a reverse 5-point turn, all just to back into your spot like you're unloading uranium cores down at the shipyard. Dude, you're in a Chevy Colorado at the Publix. What's the tweet? That's a good tweet. It's funny.
It's an outstanding tweet. Yeah, regardless. And then, of course, there were some people who turned it in, made it seem like we were really being 100% serious about it, what it represented.
1.6 million impressions on that tweet, by the way.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with any of that. But it's I want to revisit it because Dan Minnesota 6 hours ago tweeted, just watched a dude back his car into a parking spot at a holiday like you're going to be inside the store less time than it took you to back in, and you block everyone else while you're doing it. So he obviously has been bitten by the same bug. Now, I immediately on Sunday got a lot of pushback from people who said, well, you're looking at it all wrong because the fact of the matter is, if you're backing out of a space, there's a good chance you're going to be holding people up. I don't think you're going to be holding people up as long. And this gets, again, back to execution. If you're somebody, and we got texts from these folks, too, who say, I can back into a parking space in a tenth of a second.
Right.
And
just ask them.
Just ask them, yeah.
Yep.
And if that's true, I guess I'd have a higher level of tolerance for what the ESPN guy was laying out. But he was very specific in saying, and we've all seen it, where you're not particularly good at it, and it's going to take you 10 turns to get between the white lines because you decide I want to get between the white lines.
Yep.
That's where it gets a little annoying. Now, I mentioned if you're going into a Wolves game and you're picking parking lots A, B, or C, that there's a great advantage to backing in because it's much easier to leave.
It's helpful.
And it is helpful.
Yep.
Now, my rule of thumb unofficially for me is if we get there so far ahead of any traffic that I can take my usual 10 minutes to get between the two white lines by backing in, and I'm not offended when somebody else does it. But if already it's bumper to bumper that people are trying to get in and you're doing that and you're holding up people trying to get to their parking places for an extended period, then to me, you just deal with it, man. You're going to have to back out or stay later or leave earlier, whatever the case may be. So it's become this very polarizing subject. I had delivery people saying they're all told that you're supposed to back in.
Interesting.
That's actually what is safer to do. But we, I think, know the mentality of the folks who aren't doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it to show off, or they're doing it just because they can and because they're told it annoys people, or that they have a truck the size of Lake Minnetonka, and I'm just going to, if it might take me a little bit more time, it's much easier to deal with all. And a couple people, it's like, I've got better cameras for the back than I do the front, all kinds of stuff.
Cameras have added a lot to this, I think.
Yes.
Dumb question. Why is it always trucks? Why is it easier? Why do truck owners seem to prefer to want to do that?
That's a great question.
I don't
have
know.
The same.
And I'm not a truck driver, as you know. I don't have a big F-150. I don't have a diesel. I don't. I know that'll shock everybody. Because it always, like Abbott, our boss, he backs in every day.
Yeah, he mentioned today, because he saw my list before the show, and he said, you're not going to rip people who do that, dude, because I do that all the time.
Every day.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, and now he can do it.
Yeah.
Like
that's what he said. Yeah.
He does it every single day in our parking lot, which is not the easiest parking lot to get around at all times. So I have faith, and he's here early enough and all of that. Target Center is like the only place I will do it for the reason that you just brought up. Mm-hmm. But only because I can't do it either. No shock. I'm not very good at it.
No, I'm terrible.
Even though,
terrible.
I've got cameras and they seem to help. I do it when there's room and I'm not going to clip anybody and there's time.
And you're not holding anybody else
Exactly.
up.
Other than that, I'm more than happy to pull in. But it's always funny to me. That's how I knew about this controversy, because I got texts about this on Sunday, about you talking about this. Basically, tell Dan he's wrong.
This is what we do.
Just because he can't do it doesn't mean that the rest of us shouldn't be able to.
No, I just happen to have a little bit more respect for my fellow man and woman than the average rube does, who says, I'm going to show off. Because, again, it is about how long it takes you.
Correct.
And I'm here to tell you, if it takes you as long as 5 turns, 7 turns, whatever, you shouldn't be doing it. Sorry. Plan your work and work your plan, whatever.
Yep.
And if you got to your plan's got to get better, as far as I'm concerned.
Also, last night, it's funny that this came up, because last night on my drive home on one of the side streets by my house, the person in front of me backed into his own driveway.
What?
And so he's kind of going slow down our road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on? Like, I'm
the residential area.
Vegan. Yes. I'm like, what are we doing here? Yeah. And then I see that he's backing into his own driveway. That, to me, I didn't get that. And thankfully I was kind of paying attention, because I was just going along, and I'm sure I saw the brake lights or whatever, but I just sit there and wait for him to get into his own driveway. Then I went around the block.
It's because you had to go around the block?
Well, like up and around to the corner to where my house is.
It's because the long wheelbases have a much better turning radius backing in. The front wheels turning can pivot the back of the car easier. I've got variations of that one, like about 10 people.
And that's good. Like,
sent that.
And again, I wasn't being critical of the truck drivers that do it. I was just curious why it does seem like most trucks are backed in. And if it's easier for them to do it that way, then go for it if it doesn't take a lot of time.
Realistic summary guy. Dan, as an insurance agent, I always recommend backing in, pulling through, because if you get hit while backing out, you are liable for the claim. Backing in and pulling saves you from getting claims surcharges on your auto policies. Now, that's a whole nother subject, which we explored Sunday as well. The infuriating part about pulling through is what? You're pulling through, and you're not being cognizant of the fact that there's somebody coming down that row who sees what they think's an open spot, and it's not going to be open, because you're pulling through. So when they start making that turn, there's a chance there's going to be an accident there. So the whole pulling through thing has to be based on utter alertness that there's nobody coming down that row I'm pulling into who might have identified that as a spot they want to go. They want to, not back into, but go from the front.
I've had to reverse on a pull-through before. Yeah. I've definitely had to reverse on a pull-through before.
It's only fair. It's all about the turning radius. That's what we're hearing about the F-150s.
That's good to know. That's something I never would have understood before.
Then I would say don't buy an F-150, but of course I know I'm not going to win that battle. Not in this state right now.
They're saying it's easier for them to do it than the other way. So if that makes sense, that I will accept.
Yeah, but it all contributes then to the madness where we all have to wait for them. If they're not particularly adept at doing it, if it takes 5 or 6 stops.
Don't most people that are driving trucks though know what they're doing? Because they're the same ones that are going like 82 miles an hour in the snowstorms.
Well, it depends on if you're talking about commercial truck drivers. I tend to think you're right. I'm not sure. There's There's 8 billion F-150 drivers now.
That's
8 billion of them.
Yeah, you're probably
There's
right.
no way they're all good
They're
drivers.
all good drivers?
There's no chance. I don't think. Do you?
The more I think about it, probably not.
I back into a parking spot all the time, especially if it's a tighter spot. I drive a half-ton truck, and the turning radius isn't nearly what it is in a smaller passenger vehicle when backing in. Maneuvering a larger vehicle is much easier than pulling in forward, and I agree if you're not good at it. If you're not good at doing it, then don't do it. But that's asking a lot, right? Because there's a lot of people who just, they're not going to be honest about that, whether they're good. Hell yeah, I'm fine at it. I'm great.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost like part of their, dare I say it, masculinity. Now, maybe there are more female F-150 drivers who do the same thing that I think of. I have no idea. I tend to think it's mostly males, but I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you think?
I've never looked at the demos. Yeah, I've never thought about it.
Somebody would probably have better information on that. Let me get to a couple more texts. Dan, this is from Mark and Hibbing. I was an UPS driver for 30 years. We were always taught backing as the last resort. You only back up if you have to, if it's absolutely necessary. Yeah, and I did hear that from a lot of people. That there might be some truth to it. All right, let's stay on schedule. Top 5 at 5 coming up top of the hour. I do want to mix in some Twins conversation. We got into a little bit of it with anti-nerd Kevin Kernan when he joined us at about 3:30. But I want to get back to a little bit of that. And don't forget Alec Lewis from Vikings practice. He is scheduled for right after the top 5 at 5 here on a Talker Tuesday on a Tuesday. I don't even understand what this means. Why do other drivers exist? Personally, I'm going to park in the safest manner for my vehicle, and everyone else will just have to wait the 5 seconds.
Who's that from?
It's from 612 guy, but it's like, does he understand he's confirming he's the problem?
We're in a society.
It's what I've talked about. I mentioned this Sunday. It's part of the reason air travel it felt worse decade over decade is that I think early most people understood that this wasn't their home. This was a shared space. And within that context, you don't act as if it's your home. You don't put your bare feet up on the bulkhead carpet in front of you if you're in that bulkhead seat, right? You don't scream into your telephone when we're taxiing so that everybody else has to hear your conversation. Or you do those things if you feel like, well, that's my house. It's the same here. The idea that, just be patient. I'd be glad to make a bet with this individual that he or she is the most impatient person. And the only time he's talking about patience is when the other person has to be patient. My guess is there's nobody worse on a plane now, speaking of beyond some of the etiquette issues, there's nothing worse on a plane than the person who decides, I'm going to take as much time as I need to get my luggage together. Now, that's very different from, you got to let, in an orderly manner, we all been there where somebody tries to, jump up get ahead of like 5 rows.
Of course.
Ridiculous. But my guess is he's one of those guys who, the people will wait. It takes me a little while to adjust the strap on what I have on my shoulder. Come on, man. I've said this Sunday, I'll say it again. If you're great at it, have at it. I admire it. But if you're not, and you're pretending you are, and you're actually holding up people more and inconveniencing them, then you're doing the same. You're acting like it's your parking lot. It's not your parking lot. Once again, it's a shared space. How about this idea for the State Fair T-shirt? Hold on. Culture, collaboration, conversations, and a cheese curds. Too wordy? That's also from Julie.
Oh, I saw that one. No, but I like that style.
I do too.
We've done that style before for the teams, if I remember correctly.
Is that right?
Yes. I kind of like that. And you know why I like it? Because it's got the culture, the collaboration. It's got conversations, which is you, and then it's got the curds.
And some state fair presence of cheese curds.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good thought.
I think it's got to be put in the conversation.
Yeah.
At least. I don't know. Now we got too many.
That's not bad.
How about this idea? Or how about this suggestion for why people back in? With how crazy this country is, I like to be parked facing outward so if there's an emergency, I can pull out fast and with ease. End of the day, holding up the parking lot for 35 seconds is not a big deal. Take a deep breath. Well, again, that's the convenient part, easy for him to say.
Right.
But how about that one?
That's pretty fatalistic.
It's extremely fatalistic, but everybody talks about
you got to prepare.
Being prepared. I mean, Common has talked for years about in restaurants, he makes sure he sits with his back, I should say looking towards the entrance.
Yeah.
In other words, if somebody bad is about to come in and do something, he does not want his back to that entrance. So I don't know. Maybe you look at this the same way. I'm not sure how often you're in a position where in a parking lot there's an emergency that you have to be able to get out of quickly. But maybe that's how people are thinking these days.
I guess you got to be prepared for everything. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nowadays,
it's very weird to say.
What about base, balance, Brosmer, and Barrero?
It's not bad. A lot of B's.
Well, yeah, your name starts with a B.
You're right. It does. It works out.
Base, balance, Brosmer, and Barrero. We don't have to have Brosmer in there, but maybe it's just base, balance, and Barrero.
Yeah, but I don't think it. Will people remember what it refers to without Brosmer?
Yeah, probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's back this year, right? I think he's in a little different position than he was a year ago.
Now. Yeah.
The assumption is he's going to get picked up by somebody, right? When we try to put him on the
practice squad.
They used to call it the taxi squad. Yeah, the practice squad list. Drive time on a stick.
People have had that before, yeah.
Is that an old one?
Yeah, it's okay.
Maybe just sell boxers with Lavelle's face on them.
Maybe what we should do is put together a collaborator pack. You know, Ben Gessling's like running socks. Seifert's not there. The Lavelle underwear. We just had the Lou Ragoose goose. Maybe we just do like a gift pack. Maybe we don't even sell shirts.
Well, what do we sell?
Just like a little box, like a Barrero gift pack.
But I mean, what's in it?
Everything I just mentioned.
But in what form?
Gessling socks.
Oh, I see. The actual items.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Lavelle's underwear. I mean, that'd be nice. Just have it say KFAN. Just be like the Barrero pack.
It's an interesting thought. I don't know if we have, but that's a lot more work, isn't it, to put that thing together?
Well, we've got people, and the salespeople all volunteer for one shift that they don't show up for all the time.
Going out drinking to a bar, you back in, and then you drive out. You're more sober when you back in. That's why you back in.
That's a good lesson. That's great.
Well,
good tip.
Maybe he's just being realistic.
Yeah.
Paul from Burnsville, I drove a Dodge Aspen wagon without reverse for 2 years. Had to think ahead. What does that mean?
It means that his car would not reverse.
It would literally not reverse?
Yes, I have heard that.
Wow.
That happened to one of my uncle's cars. It took a minute. You have to think.
I drive an SUV, not a truck. I think pickups are obsolete, and I don't do it in a shopping lot. Real quick, twins.
I like this Barrero gift pack, by the way.
It's a good idea. It's novel.
Yeah.
It's different.
That would be different.
So we touched on it yesterday, but we were kind of in football mode. What kind of grade? This is a tough town right now for the Polettes.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bad for them. I think they have largely earned the wrath of the fans with it's not the words, it's just the approach. But the question is, how much approval are you willing to give, grudging or otherwise, to what the team did at the deadline? I kidded with Kernan that we actually raised payroll by almost, I think it's actually $8.5 million, $8.35 million dollars, which is, that's tip money that's not even tip money to the Dodgers, but it is, the approach has been, all right, maybe we were fools for what we did decimating the bullpen last year. We are going to try, and it looks almost like, well, all we're doing is getting back to even by trying to reverse that this year. And to that extent, it I think makes it even more infuriating, brings more attention how infuriating it was what the Twins did a year ago.
Correct.
But that was then, this is now.
Yeah.
So you're back to, you didn't trade. We had two players at least that were considered attractive, everyday players, attractive, that we held on to, and one of them is not going to be re-signing here by all accounts, right? The catcher.
Jeffers.
So they're still here. For whatever, whatever we're going to do, they're going to be a part of the solution to the problem the rest of the way. And then we did give ourselves some bullpen help. I think it's more than just adding what might be classified as journeyman bullpen members. So I'm not expecting everybody to go, I'm willing to sign a lifetime deal to write checks to the poll ads for the rest of my life. But how much grace do we give? Is this a decent win? Is this? I like to think of it more as it's a decent first step. I'm not going to say it's much more than that to me, but I do think it's a decent first step. Ultimately, they're going to be graded on sustaining it.
Yeah.
We all know that. But when you factor in the alternatives, and there are many, I think that's what I am willing. That's the grace I'm willing to give. What do you make of it?
You know me, I've been much more Pollyanna-ish on the whole most recent poll ad regime than everybody else. If I'm giving it a letter grade, I would say it's probably like a B- or a B. I think it was fine. I think it was okay. I like the backdrop of they're replenishing the bullpen that they absolutely obliterated, decimated, gutted a year ago. That's the obvious. We've been talking about that for 2 months. Had they just not done that, had they given up half of the bullpen a year ago instead of all of it, where might they be right now, given the division and given the American League in general? So, but it's not like it's irrelevant now, what they did a year ago, because everybody's new, right? There's a new poll ad, there's a new GM, there's a new manager. So you can only go with what they were able to do this year. Like last year, to me, shouldn't matter as much. Yes, they have to backfill everything that they gave up, but all that factored in, I give it probably a B. I think even Kernan said he likes both the guys that they got, at least the arms that they got. He likes Minter. Obviously, he likes Hoffman. So I think a good first step is a good way to look at it, because I think it's fine what they did.
I think it's a decent. I'd go either C+, B-. I might be willing to go B-, and I might be grading hard again just because of history. But it's not. It's more than I would call it definitely more than a trifle, especially when it was attacking an area that clearly was of need. And they didn't do anything with Joe Ryan. I don't even know how hard they looked. I don't even know physically where he's at. Maybe there were limits what they could even get. And they didn't do anything with, who's the catcher? Jeffers, right?
And apparently people were sniffing around him for obvious reasons.
So, and then now to come back to that was really the baseball decision would have been you should have gotten rid of him because you're not going to be able to keep him. But in the short run, what do we talk about? They'd backed themselves into such a bad corner because of their own history that I think they almost had to do what they did, even if deep down they know it may not really lead to any immediate success, too. I would say also that, again, the radical thing to do would be to announce that you got a Joe Ryan extension. Mm-hmm. Because that does go beyond this. The idea is moves you make and decisions you make should be about more than whether you're going to be able to contend in a bad division this year or get in a wild card spot. The idea is, no, we want to give ourselves a chance to continue to maybe be in this place and maybe even improve upon it when the rest of our rotation gets healthier again, if that ever happens. That's for next season or the season after that too. So we'll see where it goes. What about this? I think, the timing might not be good at this. Right-sizing radio. It's good alliteration.
Yeah.
And that's more related to the Twins basically the last 5 years up until now.
Right.
So is this I don't know if this is enough a change where I want to cave in on having any more concern, and it's got good alliteration, but I'm not sure. The spectacle T-shirt. That's something for the links to say.
Yeah, that's not for us.
I don't think.
Yeah, that's not for us.
If they want to.
It's a good idea, and they probably will.
Yeah.
I know they're selling her Slam Magazine cover T-shirt, which is cool.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah, which they should.
Yeah.
They did that for Ant. They did that for Nas. They did that for Waylon. They should do that.
State Fair, Lavelle's underwear, Dan's got no hair, Wolves in 5. I don't know if they mean that for a T-shirt, but maybe they do. Because I did have some Wolves in 5 variations with other ideas leading into it. That is not a bad thought.
Wolves in 5 isn't bad.
Yeah. You just got to figure out what you want to put in front of it.
Yeah.
State Fair, Lavelle's underwear, Dan's got no hair, Wolves in 5. I mean, I'd consider it. I don't know if it would sell. Are you writing these down?
I got them right here.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be sure.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm not writing them all down. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm writing the ones that I think have a chance.
All right. That's fair.
With our screening committee.
Do you want to... You've got some KOC sound from when he joined us from the Perch yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you want to start any of that now? I mean, I'll take a couple more texts on the Twins. I wouldn't mind opinions from the Rubes, who are most animated and negative about this ownership group. Did what the team did at the deadline move the needle at all? I'm not asking you to say, as I said, you're back for good and forever, but did it move the needle even a little bit? Were you aware of it? Are you bored with it? Or do you say, all right, well, they probably had to do it, but that didn't mean necessarily they were going to do it. 64686, that's the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Let's see. The ironic thing about training for Hoffman is that they had him in spring training 2 years ago, released him because he couldn't crack the bullpen then. Yeah, I think Lavelle has written about that today via StarTribune.com. Yeah, I mean, part of his availability is, like I said, Varland has been so good.
Right.
And we had Varland. Yeah, so even in these moves, you are not so subtly reminded of the screw-ups that led to it. But you're back to, this is sort of where you are now. So here's the question today. You can't get Varland back.
You can't.
They're not going to get him back. So is the Twins bullpen better today than it was before the several moves that they made, especially the last one? And the answer is yes.
Of course.
That's undeniable.
Yes.
Now, any of them might get lit up, but if that's undeniable, then that's still based on where they were before they made these moves, not last year, then to me, that's still a plus.
Agree totally. And honestly, it's what should have been required of them, especially because we all know about the lockout. You talked about it with Kernan again. We know how it's going to go.
Yes.
The next time they have to make these decisions about finances and money and payroll and everything, it's going to look a lot different than it does now, right? So we think the least they could do is take on a little bit more extra money to go to whatever their payroll is now. It's like 108, 109 million, I think, whatever it's going to be. That's kind of why my grade's going to be like a low B or a B, because this was the minimum requirement to they're not moving mountains here. They're not going out and making a huge, ridiculous splash. But so for them, why I say it's required, it's you don't even have to suck it up that long. You have to suck it up for 4 months of having to pay this money. So go out and do something, and they did. And there's nothing they can do about last year anymore. So the only thing they can do is stuff like they did yesterday and earlier in the deadline period.
From a sheer marketing perspective, I don't know why we wouldn't already extend someone like Joe Ryan, because they've become a fan favorite and draw attention. And I would say that's how you improve the letter grade, because that's the kind of move that is about more than just adding a couple relief pitchers, right? That's, in fact, although one of them, I think, isn't the last one we got, isn't he?
Starter.
Isn't he, doesn't he have another year on the contract?
Yes. One of them does. Yes.
So,
yes.
Right. But that's the kind of positive move that says we are in this for the long haul. I do think 763 guy makes an important point. They're all family decisions, not whichever heir currently has the official Twins title. They're playing good cop this year after damaging their name so badly last year. See, I tend to think that's true. I think too much has been made over which Pohlad is in charge. I don't, because it's not like Joe Pohlad I refuse to believe there weren't conversations beyond just Joe last year on whatever their strategy was going to be, because they're all in it. So I do think you could admire maybe the manner of this poll ad compared to the others about being out front. But I think I am a little suspicious of the notion that, well, this guy's a completely different, it's like, well, really? Or is it whoever was going to be the guy this year, they finally figured out at least this much. If we continue to go down the path we are, we're doomed. So let's bring, it is a little good cop back. Let's bring the new smiling good cop out there, whose name we're not as familiar with.
Yeah.
I think that can't be, I think that's got to be part of the discussion.
Maybe part of it, it's not as much for me, just because I mean, they kicked the other brother out. And I know he's fine.
Well, yeah.
I know he's fine. I'm sure he's doing okay. I'm guessing, everything's okay financially for him, but that couldn't have been comfortable.
No, that's true. I guess that's true. But so who's the they? The other poll ads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, or someone said, I don't know.
Well, he's not like in hiding. It's not like he's being held hostage.
No,
he still is in the ownership group.
But isn't it hard though to get kicked out of your own family business?
Yeah, but
the most high profile one.
What does that mean?
Well, they basically said you're out.
Okay, but again, yeah, I know, but I'm more cynical about what that represents. About this will get people's attention. We kicked. He's done. We're holding him hostage in the basement. We're not letting him have any. He's got no access to anything now, including food or money.
No, he's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
I do think that's a bigger step than maybe some do. If you watch Succession, I mean, it gets meaty, man.
Yeah.
There's some tension there.
Live, laugh, Lavelle. That's not bad, actually. That's pretty good. Bumper to bumper in the WNBA, not ready for the big time.
Wow.
That hurts.
Yeah, I'd say we were more prepared for Caitlin Clark than they were.
Clearly. There's not any question about that.
I had a 3-year head start with my women's basketball job.
You certainly did.
I watched the whole thing.
Maybe we'll get to some KOC sound in the top 5 or later as well.
Yeah, we could do one or two of them. Maybe one because they're KOC. They're all 3 minutes plus, so there's no quick KOC sound bites. So maybe I'll let you pick that. We'll also give you the latest from Vikings camp today before Alec Lewis joins, and the Twins are back in action.
You're listening to Barrero on the Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report.